You probably already know there's something different about the way you move through the world. You're not just sensitive to emotions, you can feel them like currents running beneath the surface, while at the same time standing apart with a clarity that others don't have. That mix, empathy with independence, is what makes you a Sigma empath. People often overlook it because they see your quiet strength as withdrawal or your boundaries as coldness. But the truth is, your potential runs deeper than most people can even imagine. And once you start to recognize it for yourself, you stop doubting who you are and start owning the power that's been within you all along. You balance empathy with independence. You have the rare ability to feel deeply without losing yourself in the process. Most empaths drown in the emotions of others, giving so much of their energy that they forget who they are. But as a Sigma empath, you've learned how to stay grounded in your own identity while still showing up for people in powerful ways. You can sit with someone's pain, understand their unspoken feelings, and even carry some of their burden, yet you don't let it consume you. That's because you've built a quiet strength that anchors you in who you are. You don't need constant approval or validation to prove your worth. Your inner compass is enough. That balance between compassion and independence sets you apart. People sense it the moment they meet you. You're steady, unshakable, and real in a world that's often unstable and fake. You see beyond masks and pretenses. You've always had the ability to notice what others can't. While most people take words and appearances at face value, you pay attention to the subtle shifts, the tone that doesn't match the smile, the hesitation behind the promise, the energy that betrays the mask. As a Sigma empath, you can sense when someone is hiding something, and you recognize patterns that others miss. It's not about being suspicious or paranoid, it's about seeing truth where others only see the surface. That's why people sometimes find you intimidating without understanding why. They can't lie to you easily, and deep down, they know it. You don't waste energy exposing them or proving you're right. You simply know. That insight makes you both powerful and difficult to deceive because no matter how polished the act, your intuition cuts straight through the performance and reveals what's real. You use solitude as a source of power. For most people, being alone feels like punishment. For you, it feels like coming home. Solitude doesn't drain you. It gives you space to breathe, to think, to recharge the parts of yourself that constant interaction wears down. As a Sigma empath, time alone isn't about isolation or shutting people out. It's about reconnecting with yourself so you can return to the world clearer and stronger. In those quiet moments, you process what others miss, you reflect on your experiences, and you gain insights that only silence can bring. That's why people sometimes wonder how you can stay so calm in chaos. They don't see the hours you've spent grounding yourself in solitude, sharpening your awareness, and building inner strength. Where others fear being alone, you transform it into a source of power that sustains you no matter what the world throws your way. You lead without seeking control. Leadership for you doesn't come from shouting the loudest or trying to dominate the room. People naturally look to you because your quiet confidence carries more weight than empty words ever could. You don't need to force authority. Your presence alone inspires trust. When others are scattered, your calm steadiness makes them feel safe. When situations turn chaotic, you don't scramble for control. You simply show by example what grounded strength looks like, and people follow. This is the power of the Sigma Empath. You influence without manipulation, you guide without ego, and you lead without needing recognition. Your strength lies in knowing that true authority doesn't come from control, but from the ability to inspire and steady others simply by being who you are. You protect energy like it's sacred. You've learned that your emotional energy isn't endless. It's one of the most valuable things you have. That's why you no longer give it freely to anyone who asks. You've realized that not everyone deserves access to your presence, your compassion, or your time. By being selective, you've cut out so much unnecessary chaos and drama that used to drain you. Protecting your energy doesn't mean you've stopped caring. It means you finally understood that caring for yourself is just as important as caring for others. This shift makes you stronger, calmer, and more in control because every ounce of energy you keep for yourself becomes fuel for your growth and peace. You turn emotional pain into wisdom. Every wound you've carried has left a mark, but instead of staying broken, you've turned those scars into lessons. You no longer see pain as something that only destroys. You see it as something that shapes you, sharpens your insight, and deepens your understanding of both yourself and others. Each betrayal, disappointment, or heartbreak has taught you where your limits are, who deserves your presence, and what kind of life you want to build. You don't run from the hurt anymore. You face it, learn from it, and come out stronger and more self-aware. That's what makes you different. You don't just survive your pain, you transform it into wisdom that guides everything you do moving forward. You navigate chaos with calm presence. When everything around you feels like it's falling apart, you don't get swept into the storm, you become the steady ground others lean on. Your calm presence isn't about ignoring the chaos, it's about refusing to let it control you. While people around you spiral into panic, arguments, or fear, you anchor yourself in clarity and patience. That quiet strength is what makes you different. You don't add to the noise, you bring balance to it. And without even trying, you often become the one others look to for stability because your calm reminds them that peace is possible even in the middle of the storm. You inspire change simply by being yourself. You don't have to preach, convince, or force anyone to grow. Your authenticity alone plants the seed. When you live in alignment with your truth, people notice. They might not admit it out loud, but your presence challenges them to question the masks they wear and the roles they play. You show them, without even trying, that it's possible to live with integrity, to protect your peace, and to choose honesty over performance. And in that quiet way, you become a mirror, reflecting back to others the parts of themselves they've been avoiding. Just by existing as you are, you make it harder for people to stay stuck in their own illusions. Sometimes the world makes you feel like your depth is a weakness, but it's actually your greatest strength. If this video spoke to you, stay with us here because you deserve a space where your sensitivity is seen as power, not a flaw. Subscribe, share this with someone who needs it, and remember, the world needs more people who feel as deeply as you do. Do you believe being an empath is a gift or a burden?